I feel like that's wrong.
I'm thirsty.
I think everybody will probably agree.
I don't care if it's a picture of the dog on the page. Nobody better like
like I feel like you should look at it like I deserve this. Yes, this is my money.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the Melanated Opinion. It's your girl Melissa.
You know, it's Shanita.
Hey y'all, hey, I'm Takara.
What up, people? I'm Crystal.
And on today's show, we're going to be talking about traditional / non-traditional lifestyle. So that means, do y'all think it's still required? Do y'all think people are still required to go to college to have a career? I honestly don't think people are required to go to college to make money or to make a career these days. To be honest, I feel like you should really only go if you're doing something that has to deal with people, like a doctor, a pharmacist, or, you know, a chiropractor, something you're going to be working with people with. I honestly don't feel like you need to go to college because you're spending your entire life paying off the student loans and not even enjoying your job. So it's kind of like once you go through that major, you're stuck. And so it's like, I don't necessarily think it's worth it overall.
And you know, honestly, for me, I think the point of college was so that you can get like a good high-paying job after you graduate to pay off the student loans, but student loans have skyrocketed and jobs, like the pay did skyrocket with the student loan. So then it's kind of like, if you were to go and be like a lawyer or a doctor, yeah, that analogy kind of works. I think it's just gonna be, you know, later on when you pay it out. But what I really want to say is this. So I went to school, I had a decent job, making, you know, decent money. Most of the people there, I'm gonna guess, did not go to college and were making six figures. So to me, that's kind of like, if you know how to work around it and work and do some stuff, then college may not be it. But I think it just depends on the person. Because for me, I really feel like my degree has not helped me with a job. You know, it helped me maneuver some things that you learn in college, like, you know, how to be diverse and talk to everybody, how to talk to professionals. But I think you just kind of learn that kind of stuff anyway. What do y'all think?
I have a quick question about that. So the people that were working with you making six figures that possibly didn't go to college, I guess, did they know somebody there? Like, how did they get the job?
So what they did, they had been basically stayed at a good company for like 20 plus years. Most of the people at that company had been there like 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And that company was known for paying their employees really good. So what happened was, we ended up getting, the company I was hired on with, we ended up getting sold to someone else. The company that we got sold to capped us out. Like, nobody could make higher than what they were making. Like, everybody was making so good from that first company that they was like, oh no, nobody else is making this amount for what y'all are doing. And I was at the bottom, closer to the bottom of what I was making. And the people that are making, like, you know, six figures, they were probably like maybe like two levels above me. I'm not talking about VPs and, you know, senior people. I'm talking about just regular people who worked in different things, like, you know, it was finance, so sales or underwriting or whatever. Like, it was just the industry. But I really feel like if you can maneuver something, you can get possibly anywhere and work your way up, whether it's a call center, whether it's sales, whether it's finance. Just get with some company and work your way up, or use it as a stepping stone and don't settle.
So, go ahead, Mom.
I also kind of agree with Shanita, though, because I do kind of feel like it depends on who you know as well, because I know a lot of people that's real cool with the managers, and we like, they not even qualified for this job. How did they get here? And then we start seeing who they talk to a lot, and it's like, oh, okay. Because it's just like, sometimes at the jobs I work at, like, you can literally see those people are not qualified to do what they need to do. And it's kind of messed up for people who do have those qualifications and who would be better at that job than them, but just because they know the right people, the job was given to them.
So I will say that I know a couple of people who don't have college degrees who are making six figures, they are doing very well in comparison to, you know, a couple of other people that I know that do have degrees. For me, I do have a degree. However, I work in accounting, which is not at all what I went to school for. It's not even anything that I was interested in. So, you know, I mean, at one point I did work in my field, but things just kind of switched and I ended up in accounting, and I don't even like accounting. Like, I mean, I'm fine with it now, and I do the job and I do the job well, but it isn't what I would have ever imagined I'd be doing. So there's that. Then there's the other thing about like staying at jobs for a long time. I honestly do not think people are doing that anymore, because one of the people that I know who is making six figures, what they did was they did stay at a place for probably like 4 or 5 years, and then they went to the next job and got more pay. And they stayed there for about 9 months, and then they went to the next job and got more pay and stayed there again for about 9 months. And now they're at their current job. So, and they don't have a degree, but they are doing exceptionally well. So I think it is a case by case situation, you know, because honestly, I don't know that I would be okay with all that student debt had I have known what I know now then. I don't know.
And for me, I guess I think a little bit different. Like, yes, I agree. The student debt, if I knew what I knew now, I would have made sure, you know, I had been saving at an earlier age and paid off as, you know, it came or whatever.
Mhm.
I would not have gotten, you know, into as much student loan debt if it was not necessary. And I think that's what a lot of people do. And to me, that is the mindset of a lot of college students. Like, they want to go to school just to get the refund check and then that's it. But for me, if I had the opportunity to go to college again, I would have. Like, I mean, I feel like I learned a lot, and I guess because my field is working with a lot of people, so I like the background of it. And to me, I feel like if one job don't work out, I'll be able to, you know, go to the next, because if you don't have that stability or people that are already in companies, it's kind of like, you know, where would you go if your job just ended? Like, I know your friend, you know, was able to, you know, increase his finances and keep moving, but that's not realistic for people. It's kind of like, if you don't know anybody in the company, you're not gonna keep, you know, getting more money. You're gonna end up getting less. So I guess it just depends, but I definitely feel like college can be helpful, because a lot of people meet their soulmates. I didn't, but a lot of people do. And I mean, it's just, I guess, networking too, because if you don't go to college, where do you meet people? If you don't go anywhere, like you just stay at your house or you just run a couple of errands, where do you network?
You have to get out. Like
Where?
And it's like plenty of places, like on social media, they have like poetry nights, they have karaoke nights. Like, it's so, it really depends on what city you're in. I do want to say that. But there's so many different things you can do. There's apps, there's Meetup, the Meetup app, is that what it's called?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like, I feel like there's so many things you can do and so many different interests. It shouldn't be hard, you know, networking and social media.
So I will also say the difference between then and now is that when I went to college, social media like Facebook was really the only thing that we had. I don't remember like a whole bunch of like seeing a whole bunch of meetup apps and stuff like that. And then yes, you do network and you do meet people. That's where Crystal and I met at college. So, I mean, yeah.
So if y'all had your choice, would y'all or would y'all not go back to college? I mean, well, not go back, but go to college, or would you go to work?
Nope.
I would say I wouldn't go to college.
I mean, minus the debt, I would go to college. I mean, I'm in grad school now, so I mean, I guess I just
but you know, all of this is like in high insight. You know, in high insight, I wouldn't have went to college, I would have studied something in, I ain't gonna say study, I would have done something in the arts. So I would have, for me, it would become like what my hobby is or what I like doing, what I know I like doing now. I would try to find something in that field if I would have known at that time. So I would have just went straight to there with the high insight that I know now. Even if I know now, like if I, was looking for a full-time job making decent money, I kind of know where to look at to get money where I won't be struggling. So I think it's because I'm in a bigger city. And so now I know that, go to something finance, a lot of call centers are making a lot more money now. I guess the experience that I have and the background that I have will get me a little bit more money in some positions that other people can't get in, I guess. So I also think I know now that what I make is up to me. So if I work hard, if I need to work 2 or 3 jobs, then work 2 or 3 jobs. If I want to do more on social media, then do more on social media. And the amount of money I make is really dependent upon me at this point. That's how I see it.
So would you want to work that many jobs or just work one that was giving you what you needed?
I don't have a lot of responsibilities, so I don't mind, working if it's fun. So why not?
But that's my thing too. Like y'all keep saying finances. I know Takai said accounting. That's boring to me. Yes, I like, writing out my own bills and figuring out all that stuff. But to do that as a job, so what else kind of jobs? And I think they said Dollar General managers or something make 6 figures too. Or I don't know if it's like the store owner or whoever, but somebody in is it the Dollar General or Family
Maybe
Dollar?
like the district managers or something.
Yes, but they make like 6 figures too. But I'm like, other than that, what else jobs besides finances?
Sales make a lot of money.
Are you talking about
especially standing on your feet?
Wait, what y'all say?
Are you talking about traditional jobs?
Just period.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like she's talking about traditional jobs. That's why
I'm clarifying. Just, I guess, if I'm not an entrepreneur, what kind of job would I be able to make 6 figures? Not a doctor either.
You could be a social media assistant, an Airbnb host.
They make that kind of money?
Yes. YouTube. You don't see them people beat up about them big houses like within 2 years of being on YouTube. It's
but
so
then
much stuff.
I see a lot of people lose that stuff too because you don't have the background and the knowledge to be able to keep it because
to manage
money. Yeah. It's like, okay, I got it, let me go get all these cars and stuff like that. Then a couple of years down the road, it's gone because you just spent it all. You haven't saved, you haven't invested, you haven't did any of that type of stuff. And it's kind of like you're back at square one. That's why you see a lot of people end up on drugs and stuff like that because they don't have anywhere else to go.
But with you saying that, let me ask you this. Do they teach us that in school? No, because that's exactly what they want.
In college,
maybe they do now, but
I doubt it.
No.
Because even when I was at school, I had no clue about any of that stuff. And I'm like, why are they teaching us all this stuff that we don't need to know? And I need to know how to build my credit.
Mm-hmm. Like, you talking about in high school or college?
High school. Even in college, they didn't.
Yeah, in high school, no. And I think that is something that should be, involved in high school. Really, elementary, just start teaching them about finances. But college, we touched on a little of that.
We didn't. And it's just I
was in business. I don't remember touching on my personal finance. And what I learned was more how to invest or do real estate or to do accounting or corporate stuff. I don't remember anyone telling me what to do for personal stuff. And even you can't take that type of stuff and do just your own personal stuff because it's different rules. And
I guess for me, because I was in social work field, you advocate for each other. So maybe it was just the teachers I had, but they, was teaching you not just about how to help somebody else, but in order to help somebody else, you first have to help yourself. So they was trying to make sure we had a little bit of knowledge of everything. So I do appreciate them. And maybe that's the teachers I was blessed with.
Oh yeah, I had another job suggestion too. You can always do OnlyFans and make some money.
Do what?
Mama.
Do what?
OnlyFans.
Huh?
OnlyFans. Explain what that is.
Oh.
You know what it is, right?
I mean, I hear people talk about it. I never seen it.
Isn't
But
it
you
where
can
you
do
like?
OnlyFans for like cooking and stuff now though. And
Oh,
also
I ain't know that.
TikTok, like it's so many different things on social media and I feel like money is sitting in everybody's lap.
But
That's what-
everybody can't do social media. Like,
yeah,
there's
but
got to be
it
some
doesn't have
real.
to be you showing your face though. It doesn't have to be you create content.
Right.
You
But
can make websites for people, you can make
Oh.
banners for people, postcards, like it's so many different things that you can do. Like you can sell a lot of digital planners on Etsy. It's so many ways to make money. And people like just never think about it.
You can even take like, what are those recordings that you do on YouTube? You can make a recording or something. It's a website you can go and get it from and actually put it up on YouTube so that you can get views. So it's not even you actually
Yes.
doing it or
What you
creating it.
mean?
What is that stuff called,
wait,
Melissa?
what?
It's like rain sounds, music. It's so many different things that you put
I
on
actually
there.
do use that though. Like, I can sleep better with like water sounds,
See?
like the beach or the ocean, like waves and stuff.
The
So,
white
okay.
noise.
Yeah.
So
There's a
I'm
lot of
and I
options.
kind of feel like another traditional / non-traditional thing would be is gender roles, because I feel like in the past it was more of the man made the most money, the man ran the house, the woman pretty much stayed at home to care of the kids. But now it's kind of like, oh well, I can make the same amount of money as you, so who's in charge?
I mean, I would prefer them to be, but because I mean, I want my own money. I don't like anybody to say, you controlling my money too. So I want my own money. But if I had a choice, I wouldn't want to be at home all day. Like I could at least work part time, but like y'all said, social media jobs or something. But I still would want them to be in charge. But that's just me.
So even if you made the same amount or more money than him, you would still want him to be in charge? Like, do you think
Yeah, I
who
did that
makes
in
the most money
relationships.
equals who's in charge?
Not really, because I guess I have always learned to be submissive. So it's kind of like in relationships, I made more money than them. And, but I still made them feel like, hey, it's not like they wasn't working. I just made more money than them.
But do you feel like you would set yourself back though, or kind of not knowing your worth?
Not really, because the two that I'm thinking of in particular, both of them had pride. One of them is when we used to get check stubs. They found my check stub and their feelings was hurt because they didn't realize I made that much money, because I don't talk about what I got. And then the other one, I can tell, like, he still paid for everything. So it's kind of like, it was a little like, if I say, okay, I'm gonna pay for our movies today, and I literally would have to go to the theater, buy the ticket in advance, and then we go give the tickets to him because it was a pride thing. Like he didn't want me to do it. So if I wanted to do it, that's what I would have to do.
I mean, so
but it wasn't coming to, me giving them money.
I mean, but because to me it's kind of like, so you can't get a higher paying job if that's really the issue. That's just how I'm thinking about it.
But it's a preference thing though. It's their preference. That's their preference. The guys that Shanita is dating, that is their preference.
Well, no, that I dated. Put an ED on it. Dated.
Yes, what are you? I'm talking about the guys and their pride.
Oh, what you were saying?
I was just saying, so if it was like so much for their pride, why couldn't they just get like a higher paying job?
Because for one, they did not have a college degree. So most jobs that they could get was city workers, warehouse jobs, stuff like that. So to them, I mean, they're doing hard labor, and they come from a different background from me. So it's like for them, this is, I ain't gonna say as good as it's gonna get, because now both of them have a higher paying job. One of them is still kind of doing the same type of work, but the other one, well, both of them are, because he's still working in like a warehouse, but he's traveling with it. So with that, it's like he's making way more money now.
Okay, I was just wanted to know, just because I don't necessarily agree with that. So like, I look at it differently. So I was just asking.
How do you look at it, Melissa? You say you looked at it differently.
I mean, I think it should be what works out for that specific couple. Mm-hmm. Like, if you feel like, the man needs to be in charge regardless of funds, that's completely fine. And I feel like if you want to go 50-50, that's completely fine. But I know people that would never go, like I know women that would never go 50-50 with the man. And I know men that say, I'm not staying with no woman, she not paying half the rent. So I honestly think whatever works for y'all, that's what y'all need to do. I don't think it should be like a rule.
That's true. But I'm like, why? I guess in my mind, why am I going to go 50-50 with you when it's not going to be? Because if we have kids, they're going to be bothering me more than they bother you. I'm the one that's having to cook. I'm the one that's having to clean up and do all this stuff. But we both bringing in money, the same amount, but I'm doing. So how is it ever going to be 50-50? It's not. One person is going to be doing more physical work while you're both contributing the same amount of money. How is that fair?
I don't think they see it like that. I honestly do not think they see it. Because they never bring that up. I don't even think they be being considerate enough to see it, Like,
No.
Nowadays, men are kind of like, well, I know how to clean up. I know how to cook. I know how to wash my own clothes. They're more like, I've been doing it by myself. When I get with you, I'm not just going to stop. That's what they say. I don't know if it's true or not nowadays. So in their mind, that's why it wouldn't be 50-50. And if it's a little boy, chances are he is going to be under you, but the dad is going to want to be playing some kind of ball with him, playing video games with him. So it may be a little bit more 50-50 with a little boy at certain times. But I'm sure that's how they see it. Like they're going to be, more in the yard. They're going to be taking trash out. They're going to be fixing things around the house. They're going to be taking a car to get an oil change. They're going to be doing everything for the car and things like that. So in their mind, it's going to be close to 50-50, close enough for them to say it's 50-50.
But I think you're thinking of the guy back in the day, because this day, they're not getting your oil change. They're not cutting no grass. They're not, going to take your son playing football or cutting hair. They're not doing any of that. Like I'm working, why you can't do it? I still see a lot of women that are having to do that versus the men. The men are bringing the money, but they're not doing no work. It's like, I don't see that anymore.
If they stay in the same home and it's their son, they don't do it?
No.
Okay. I don't know.
Like, I feel like if you were raised like in our generation or whatever, which is very few now, you still might have a couple of those guys, but the newer, like younger generation, no, they're not doing it. Like a lot of them not even working. Like they're sitting at home playing football, not football, but what is it? Like video games while you working. Like you remember Baby Boy? That's kind of how the new generation is now.
But who's doing that? Who's like seeing people, dating people like that? That's not even an option.
I'm putting myself out here. Don't be talking about me. My ex was like that though. That's how he was. Unfortunately.
But did you ever talk to him about it?
Yeah, I was like, "What are you doing? Like, why are you not applying for jobs? Like, that's not what this is." Trust me, I said something to him, but he was like, if I didn't say nothing, he wouldn't have did it.
Yeah, but Melissa, you were also doing other things that made sure that it was going to be closer to 50-50 too. I ain't trying to put all your business out there, but you were also making sure that things were going down that were closer to 50-50.
Yeah, because I wasn't paying all this and he was just staying for free. So he better pay something.
And see, the thing about that is, I think where people make a mistake at is like you're not with that person anymore. However, like the worst thing for you to have done with him is to have a child, knowing it's just the two of y'all and he ain't no help or barely any help.
To me, it depends on your conversations with them as well. Like to me, my two exes in particular, they weren't doing it when they was with me, but I feel like me talking to them, encouraging them, showing them, you can think outside the box and do better. Like, I feel like that's why, because it seems like they always do better once they leave, but you're taking what I done told you and then try to instill in you. So I'm like, why you just couldn't do it then? But sometimes they take what you did or the failures with you and do better for the next.
I honestly just feel like they didn't want to do it. Because I really do go by the saying, if they wanted to, they would. Like, when I start going by that saying, it helped me out. Like, oh, so basically you don't want to do it? No, like
Yeah,
I
no, same. Like, I'm not in the business of convincing people to do like either, like, yes, address the thing, have a conversation and see where it goes, but to have to keep reiterating the same what's common sense to me, things to you, no, like you said, Melissa, they just don't want to do it. And at that point, it's time for you to make a decision, but for sure don't have no kids with them, because why would you?
So I do have a question for y'all. I don't know if y'all saw this on social media or not. It was probably like a month ago. It was a picture floating around of this little boy playing with the kitchen set, and it was like a lot of people like, that's how y'all sons become gay. Y'all don't need to buy them that. They need toolbox and race cars and stuff like that. So I just want to know y'all opinion on the traditional, like, should there be traditional toys that your kids can play with?
I just never thought about it. I heard about that. I never saw the picture that they was talking about. But I mean, my first thought was, how do people become shells? And then now they have like the updated kitchen sets. It's not just pink and girly.
Mm-hmm.
They have
More
like
neutral
kitchen sets that look, like real ones. So I mean, I guess I don't see a problem with it. Go ahead.
So it's like, well, if you, like, let's say your nephew or your whomever, would you buy them a doll, like a Barbie?
No.
I wouldn't buy it, but if they said, hey, Melissa, I want that, I'd be like, okay.
You wouldn't question as to why?
Question what? What's wrong with them being gay though?
It's not that, but it's just if they don't understand.
And who said that makes them gay? Don't put that out there.
No, but like, understand, like, what is there to understand? Like, why should a girl be able to play with a doll and a boy can't?
I'm just gonna be honest. For me, I'm not as advanced as society is with that right now. I'm not okay with it. I don't know, like, I don't know how that's would psychologically work. And I'm not saying he can't, but why? How is that working? I don't understand.
It's
I don't
a
either.
Toy. It's just a toy.
Right.
Like,
in their mind, they might think it's just a toy, but that's why I think I would ask follow-up questions to see why do you want this particular toy? Like, he might have seen somebody else playing with it and not realizing, hey, it's some other toys.
But it's not a toy that's for girls, though. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's no issue with him playing with the toy.
See, but what is he gonna do with the doll, though?
That's what I'm saying. Like, kids are kids. They had all kinds of stuff in their head, imaginary, whatever they be making up in their head. I don't know, but kids be playing.
You know what? I'm sorry, Scott. If he
go ahead, Crystal.
If a little boy had men doll and female dolls, like 25 and a variety, I think I'll be okay with that. But just buying like one or two female dolls, I wouldn't. But I'll be okay with the variety of men, female, G.I. Joe, like a whole bunch of stuff. That I'm fine with.
Because they do have their dolls. They're like X-Men and stuff, though.
Mm-hmm. I just want to know what Shanita would be. Okay, I'm just going off Shanita's comment. Like, what would you be questioning exactly? Like,
I mean, are you trying to practice for when you have a child later on? Like, it's not really much you can do with a doll besides comb their hair and change their clothes. And, unless you want to, like, put them in doll houses and stuff like that. So for me, it's just like, what made you pick this particular toy? Is it something that you really want, or is it something that you've seen and you were just curious about? Like, I ask questions regardless.
Let me say
this. Like, what's up?
So Melissa said, dolls are they're not just for girls, right? But I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if it's the way I was raised or if it's simply just how I feel. But I do feel like dolls are for girls. Again, I'm not judging other people who get, like, you do what you want with your child. I'm not judging you. Ain't my business, and I don't care. But although funny thing is though, Carrington does have like Tonka trucks, but they're like girl Tonka trucks. Like they have like like
They're
girly
pink.
paintings on the. They're pink or purple. And she don't play with them though. But anyway, but the thing is, no, I wouldn't buy, my nephew's dolls. And my brother would be like, what do you think you're doing? Like, why would you bring a doll over here to my son? And my sister would say the same thing. Maybe it's just our age and we are not as, like Crystal said, as what did you say, Crystal? What was the word that you used?
As advanced.
As advanced in our
as the times
thinking.
are now. But let me also just say this right quick. So buying, like when we were young, we had little dolls. We had white dolls. Now I'm older. I'm not buying a white doll. I'm buying a black doll because it's about representation. This is me as a child. So we're thinking that we're buying a doll that represents something that looks like them. That's the point of it. Like, this represents you. I'm not going to buy my black daughter at this time a white doll because there are a whole bunch of black dolls that they can have. So for me, it's kind of like, why would I buy a boy a doll that does not look like him? Just one. A whole slew of them, yeah, he can have, but just one, I wouldn't understand what type of representation that means for him.
But that's the thing, like, it's not for y'all to understand. Like, it's kind of like, I feel like y'all be trying to put y'all beliefs on y'all child, and y'all got to realize that y'all are two different people. Like, just because you believe one thing does not mean your child will understand or believe the same thing you believe. Like, I disagree with that. So that's what I'm saying. I honestly don't think it should be like a gender thing. I think they should be able to play what they want and experience what they want. And if there's other things like talking about sex or something like that, and if you're wondering if that's what they're wondering about, I think you should have that conversation with them earlier, if that's what they're curious about.
That's why I think you would need to have a conversation when they first ask for the doll too, because you made a good point. They don't understand. Kids understand what you tell them and how they grow. For me, I feel like that's why you need to have a conversation, because a lot of times, me even taking my nieces and nephews to the store, they pick up whatever toy they want. When we come home, they're not even playing with the toy. It's not even really what they wanted. They just saw, this in the store and they wanted to spend my money. So it's kind of like, that's why you need to kind of ask questions. And I think for you, Melissa, it seems like some of it you may not agree with. It's just like, hey, I'm just going to give them the freedom. You want it, we got it. But they might not even really want it.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, I feel like they should be able to experience what they want, play with what they want, without us putting what we think they should do on them.
Influencing their
right.
That's why you ask, hey, so what made you pick this toy?
But why do you have to ask though? You don't have to understand. Do you get what I mean? Like, you're trying to make, just because you disagree with what they're doing doesn't mean you have to understand why they're doing it. You may not ever understand why they did that.
But that's the whole point. Remember, I know the show that Kayla was on with you, and y'all basically was both saying that people in our generation don't understand y'all. And why not? Because we don't talk to y'all. We don't try to figure out what's going on. So that's your opportunity. You don't want to wait till they get older and then they have to sit down and have this conversation. You want to kind of get them when they're younger and kind of see how they think.
I do want to understand my child or any of the children that I don't necessarily want to. I mean, I'm sure I do in some ways impress my thoughts and my traditions and all of that on them. But no, I do understand. I do want to understand why my child makes the decisions that she makes and figure out, like, where I may see as a parent, you are always trying to figure out, like, okay, what's their next move so that I can kind of like intercept if something is going to go bad, and if I can fix it, or if I can talk to them and adjust it, or just help lead them, right? Help guide them, because that's the point of parenting.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I think this is something we're not going to see eye to eye on, but I feel like everybody got to express their full opinions of this. So y'all let us know what y'all think. See what we're missing. Put in your 2 cents below in the comments or wherever you see this at. But we're actually going to go on to our next segment, which is minding other people's business. So I saw this week that there is an actual lab that has frozen bodies that they're holding to possibly bring people back to life when they, find the right technology. So my question for y'all is two-part question. What do you think about this lab that is holding people to bring them back for technology in 200 years or whatever? And two, would you do it?
No, I would not do it. And I guess what kind of lab is it? Because I guess like how are they holding them? And if you can bring them back to life, would they be like a mummy? Like, or would they be back like their original self?
For one, they've been doing this for years. That's the first thing. Let me say that. For two, I wish they would leave them people alone. When it's time for people to die, let them go.
I'm sure these are people that volunteer. I don't think this is against their will.
But y'all need to. But I just feel like they always doing something though. Like, why are y'all doing that?
It's a little weird. It's a little weird. It's like you're almost trying to play God in a way.
Yeah, like when they turn on them, they're gonna be mad. Cause y'all know how the movies go. Every
but
time they try
even
to
possible though.
Yes, they have done it.
I mean, it may not be actually possible today, but you know, technology and things are always changing. So who knows what the capabilities will be, you know, 50 or 100 or 200 years from now.
I'm a conspiracy theorist, so sorry. But they done definitely done it.
Oh no, I see it on movies, but that'd be kind of scary. I hope that's like years on down the road.
You don't want to be
I don't no parts. No, I don't want no parts. I don't even want my grandkids, kids that have no parts.
Yeah,
no,
I agree. I'm opting out too. Like that's too far. It's too much. It's like, what are you really trying to come to back here? Like what do you want here? You want to be in this chaos in the midst of all this? That's what you're on ice for? To come back?
I guess people want to live forever.
Right, but if that's the case, in the people that's holding them, they're gonna die. So do their body just automatically be saved?
They've been doing this technology stuff for a little minute now. They not going nowhere no time soon. All I'm gonna say is y'all do your own research on that and let us know what y'all think about it in the comments.
So I guess we'll go to the next segment, which is our letter. So I'll read it for you guys. Hi, Melanated O. I was recently laid off from my job. At first, I was looking for a new job, but then decided I didn't want a new career working for someone else. Everyone keeps telling me I should look for a new job, but I really don't want to. Do you think having a career is required in this day and time? What do you guys think?
I said it earlier, OnlyFans is again. I'm just joking, but I'm for real.
Are you on OnlyFans?
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like,
if I can figure out how to get on there, yeah, hit me up at K123-1295.
Now that's somebody extra.
Why do I say y'all?
What you gonna do?
Crystal sent you.
Exactly, you get a 10% discount if you say I sent you.
I mean, I would say I personally think you don't. I feel like do what you want. Like if follow your intuition. If you feel like you don't want to work for nobody else, don't do it. But I definitely think you should have some kind of like plan, something, a way to make money, or just a direction that you would like to go in. So you won't just be like, okay, well, what now? You know?
Same. I feel the same. You don't necessarily have to have a traditional career, but I do think you have to have a way to provide for yourself in whatever method suits you.
Yeah, I don't know if she said or not, but if you have responsibility, like kids and a husband and family, that's kind of different. You know, you have to have that conversation with your husband, first of all, and make sure that the family's taken care of. If you can't afford it, then sometimes we have to do what we have to do till we can get to where to do what we want to do. And in the meanwhile, you know, there are a lot of online jobs you can do. Do something completely different that you've never done before, that you never even thought you would do. Maybe you're just tired of the same old. So do something that gives you more flexibility if you, really, really have to have a job. If you don't have a job, try exploring like, hobbies, finding out what you like to do, and your hobby can lead you to getting something where you'll be paid for it. Could be painting, could be an artist, doing whatever. So try that.
Right. I think that's the key for everybody, is figuring out what feels like a hobby and not like a job.
Yeah.
That makes a big difference. And even when you experience it, like even if you go to the doctor's office or well, you could tell that person really loved their job. Like it's a better experience for you as well. Did y'all have anything else? Well, I think we talked about a lot of good things today. You got to see a variety of our opinions. We talked about traditional versus non-traditional. Let us know if you are more on the traditional side versus none, or even if you have a different definition of a traditional lifestyle versus a non-traditional lifestyle. We'll love to hear it. We also talked about storing bodies, which we won't be doing. So if you see this video in the future, you know that all four of us did not co-sign for it. So you better run. And also we talked about we helped a lovely letter. So don't forget to send us anything that you have, any letters, any questions, or if you just want to give us some encouragement or topics, you can always find us at themelanatedopinion@gmail.com. Thanks for watching.